We're just gonna jazz it tonight, right?
Hell yeah.
This jazz. Our podcast episodes are jazz music. We're not heavy metal or easy listening. We're jazz
What? Because it's like unlistenable?
because we have no plan. We're just flying off the seat of our pants, and most people hate it. There's just a very small audience. It's like it's not bad. Jazz man Bryant Caves. How are you doing on this evening of evenings?
Thomas, I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Feeling other than the last couple of days of work, feeling pretty well rested, but also feeling kind of cultured.
Culture like milk.
Exact or like yogurt.
Oh yeah, or cottage cheese. Oh, remember when
Gross.
we talked about cottage cheese? We're straight. I ate some cottage cheese straight out of the container today. Yeah, buddy. Me and Homer, team cottage cheese. Anyway, we're not talking about any dairy products, although I'm sure there were dairy products included. Brian, you kind of saw what there was to see in the arts and culture that is Charlotte, North Kakalaka. Walk us through what did you do? You took some time off and just, you know what? I'm going to do some me time or Bryant time because I'm me in this
Yes.
one. Yeah. So you took some
Um,
Bryant time.
I sure did. Yeah. So it started Wednesday, as you guys will know. We didn't record on Wednesday.
We didn't?
First time in quite a while.
Huh.
I'd had a really rough day, like really, really rough. Had a lot going on, work and then other stuff too. And I was like, I need a mental health day. It's like I need my mental health is kind of shot. So I had already planned to take the Friday off, just again, give myself a break, needed a day.
Yeah. Everyone's
After
getting down on Friday.
exactly, got to get down on Friday.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking forward to the weekend,
Yeah. Yeah.
partying, yeah. So was like, you know what, screw it, I'm taking Thursday off too. So Alyssa had to work on Thursday, but I had the day off. She ended up taking Friday off with me, but I was like, you know
Oh,
what, I don't want to sit around my apartment. I need to get out. So I like got out of the house, went to one of my favorite breakfast spots here in Charlotte, and just like took took my headphones and my phone and like had some coffee and breakfast, and I watched The Righteous Gemstones from this past week, which was excellent, and was like, all right, what else can I do? So I went to the Mint Museum here in Charlotte, which is like an art museum.
mhm.
Um, they had a few exhibits closed, so it was half price to get in, which was nice. So yeah, just kind of walked around, was just like chilling, looking at art. I was like the only one in there, so it was super like I could kind of take my time and sit and look and sneak taking my mask off every once in a while until like a security guard would walk by and then see me.
You an anti-masker?
I'm not, but it was really, really hot in the museum for some
I
reason.
could see that because you're in North Carolina. It's just hot.
Yeah, it's just hot. So did that, went and caught a really good concert Thursday night too, a country music concert. So I kind of had country music-ish, they're kind of Southern rock-ish, whatever. But so I kind of saw the full range of the culture that North Carolina has to offer. Had a nice day off on Friday with Alyssa. We went and got breakfast. Actually, she was so jealous of my breakfast from Thursday that we went to the same place on Friday. Went and got some good burgers from this local place. And
Oof.
then Saturday, we tailgated out for barbecue.
I saw that. You Southerners in your barbecue. You sure do go all out for the BBQ.
There's this like local place here. It's about 45 minutes ish outside of Charlotte.
Hmm.
And they're only open on Saturday, and they're basically open until they run out of food.
Mm.
And people line up every weekend. For people will wait 3 hours sometimes for I mean, they'll line up they open at 11. People usually start lining up about 8:30, 9 o'clock.
How long? How long did you get there? Around 8 or 9?
We got there about 9.
Okay.
We were like there were four of us. We were like number, I think, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in line.
Oh, so a couple people got there before you,
Yeah, a
yins.
couple people. It was cold, so I think that helped, held some people
What was it
off.
cold like in the 50s?
I was in the 30s, and so they had free beer, and and it's
Dang.
also BYOB. So we went and got like coffee and brought like coffee to share, and
Wait, so they get well, back the truck up a little bit, okay? Beep beep. They give you free beer whilst in line.
mhm,
While you're waiting, you just get free beer from this establishment, and
yes.
then you go in with your own beer to drink it inside.
Well, I mean, you could technically still drink their beer inside if there's any left.
Oh, so
Um,
they just buy a
they,
couple cubes, and then whenever it's gone, it's gone.
yeah, that basically. They buy like there's a big cooler outside, and it's also BYOB, so you can bring your own if you want.
Hmm.
We did that too, just in case. We didn't want to drink up like all their beer. And so yeah, it was a good time. The barbecue was amazing, totally worth the wait. It was like the most friendly atmosphere I've been at in a while. Like everybody was super friendly, super cool, sharing beers around. If you were out, the guy behind us kept trying to get us to do shots of vodka with him.
Hey,
It was just,
now you're
yeah,
speaking my language.
there was like music playing. I mean, it was a good time. The barbecue was amazing. Ate a bunch and then came home and took a nap.
Whew.
And it was like
What's the name of
perfect.
this place for other folks if they're in the area?
If you are in the Charlotte area, it is John G's. I'm actually wearing the hat.
Jon capital G apostrophe
Apostrophe
S.
yes, yes. Out in Peachland, North Carolina.
How how much more southern can you get than Peachland, North Carolina? Unless you're in Peachland, Georgia, then that would be a little bit more southern. But man,
Which
golly,
is just past the great big city of Marshville, North Carolina, home of country music legend Randy Travis.
I have no qualms against Randy. Is he an anti-vaxxer? Is he an
Probably,
anti-masker?
probably, but
If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'd probably put some money on that.
yeah, he probably is. Um, but it's so yeah, it was a good weekend. Just more than anything, and luckily I obviously had the means to do so,
Mm-hmm.
but just took care of myself. Like that was my whole idea was, didn't talk about work and some other stuff we had going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of took some time for myself. It was really nice. Really felt a lot better afterward.
Yeah,
So good
taking
for the
care of
soul, man.
business, man. Every day, taking care of business every way.
Taking
Taking
care
care
of
of
business.
business.
It's all right.
Taking care of business.
Working overtime, work
Work
out.
out. I am really glad that you had fun. Last question before we jump into it. I'm a fan of going to museums. I don't know why I don't know why I'm putting off going to Columbus Museum. It's free for families on Sundays. I think I just learned that right before the pandemic, right at the beginning of the pandemic. So I think now I might try to take all the kids there and stuff to it on a weekend. But this Mint Museum, whenever you left, was there anything that kind of left you in a maze? Mint.
Good times.
That
Good.
was that was setting up a joke. It was all real, but it was also setting up a joke. Well, you sent us some pictures because you're as people know you're not a huge social media person. You're not on the Twitters. You're on Instagram quite not quite a bit. You're on there a little bit. You're more of an observer, I think, than a producer. And
I am.
you kind of teach the Bryant and Thomas chat. I call it the Bryant's chat because um, both the other people named Bryant, you kind of use our chat as a social media. So you were sending us photos and all this awesome stuff. What was your favorite piece of art inside that there museum?
Ooh. There was this group of photographs that this person had done of these like super old oak trees,
Hmm.
and they had put them through this like special kind of process, and they were like this super black and white and gray, then just the contrast on it, and it was like really up close, and it really showed like I'm fascinated by just like it's one of the things I love about the South are like old oak trees and like
Yeah.
Spanish moss and stuff. And so yeah, it was just these really cool, and I think I sat and stared for like
Huh.
forever. That, and then one person did, if you know, if you're somewhat familiar with art, Botticelli's Birth of Venus.
Yes, yes.
They did that, but they randomly in it put pictures they had taken of just garbage.
Okay.
And I was just like, something about this is just fantastic. So,
Oh, real quick before we go, at the Art Institute of Chicago, they have this video art where it's somebody chewing. And my wife is one of those folks who cannot listen to people chew. It's like an actual people, it's an actual thing. People have
oh,
this aversion to hearing people chewing and stuff.
my dad's one, yeah.
We went into that room and she just backed out. So I took about a 30-second video of it. And every so often I will send her that video of the chewing just because we love each other. And that's the kind of fun that we have. Speaking of fun, we promised none of it in parts of our episode coming up. But let's just get into it. Let's just do it. Welcome, boys and girls, to Prime Me. We're a podcast where we talk about soccer and other things, other podcasty things. We have a show tonight. I'm not sure what the show is going to be, but it's going to be a show. We're going to talk through the good, the bad, and the cataclysmic that is the NWSL over the last couple of weeks. And mostly the good stuff is usually it's outside of Chicago. And the cataclysmic stuff is right there in the Chicago camp. We will get into that, unfortunately. We'll talk a smidgen about crew preseason because it's happening right now, but we haven't been able to see any matches. We had some cancellations of events that didn't allow us to see them play anything, but we'll talk about it for posterity's sake. Excuse me. Blah, blah, blah. Easy for me to say. And then we'll get to your Ask Bam questions. We wanted a lot of questions tonight, and gosh darn it, you all delivered.
Boom.
You all delivered. So we're going to get into those questions and hopefully end on a real high note. And on a fun note, before we get into all of our topics, so we have some things that we like to discuss. We have some matches that we like to cover with you, real quick, just because we like so many different teams in the world of soccer, and we would be remiss if we didn't include them in our podcast episodes. So we're going to go through the whole gambit of matches that have happened. Brian, Tottenham or Liverpool? You pick which one we start with first.
Let's start with let's get the bad stuff out of the way. Let's start with Tottenham.
I didn't know where that one was going to go, but I like it. So last time we had our episode, the one before our Ty Phillips special, that was the night where Tottenham beat Liverpool. Since then, Tottenham had a rough spell. They lost to Man United in the Super League. They got knocked out of the FA Women's Cup against Leicester 3-1, which is not good. And then the next day they loaned a player from Tottenham to Leicester. Like, really? Maybe you need to flip that script.
Yeah, really.
On February 3rd, they lost to Man City 3-0. Both Manchester's, losing 3-0. Not great. Not great
at all.
No. But then on Sunday, redeemed themselves, beating three teams 4-0. Brighton, Hove, and Albion lost on February 6th to the Tottenhams.
The combined might of Brighton, Hove, and Albion
took them all down.
The mighty Tottenham Hotspur women's team.
That's a good segue into the Tottenham men, because just over the weekend in the FA Cup, they beat Brighton, Hove, and Albion 3-1 instead of 4-0. Real quick, I need to bring up a goal that happened. Sonny goes on a nice breakaway. He goes on a nice breakaway. The Brighton, Hove, and Albion defense does pretty well at trying to take him out, but then the defender for Brighton, Hove, and Albion he's running full speed, and he nicks the ball. Ball's going into the back of the net. Harry Kane does what Kane does, and he slides in to tap the ball right before it goes over the line to get himself a goal. And that's not the problem. I expect that. It's like being mad at an apple tree for making apples. I mean, I know what I'm going to get with the situation. I was mad at Tottenham's social media afterwards because they posted a video, a cool angle. They're like, oh, the Sonny to Kane connection. First of all, Sonny wasn't trying to pass that ball. It was a total defender accidentally causing an own goal, and Kane just slid in and took the credit for the goal. Stop it, Tottenham. It was not a Sonny Kane connection. It was defense that was stopping Son, and Kane being a turd burglar and going in and knocking the ball into the net. So that's all I have to say. That's all I got to say about that.
And you know why I'm glad it happened?
Because you won?
Because it upsets you.
Oh, upsets me. I just said the social media upset me. Ignore the fact that I brought up Kane like 5 times in that rant. Prior to that match, you had a couple, it seemed like you had a couple weeks off between a match. I think that happens on the Tottenham men's side when you're not in any cup competitions. They lost to Chelsea 2-0 on January 23rd. Not great, Bob.
Not great. No.
Not great. We're going to head over to the Liverpudlian side of things after losing to the Tottenhams on January 19th, which again hurt me deeply. Liverpool has played 3 matches. They've won all of them. They haven't given up a single goal, and they've scored 13 goals in 3 matches. They scored 4 against Crystal Palace, 6 against Lincoln City, and 3 over the weekend against Coventry United. Also, if you remember, Coventry United, we talked about this on a previous episode. They were getting their points deducted because the past owners jacked up their finances. Well, Coventry United, they went in, they appealed it to the FA. And congratulations, FA, for being total jerks. And they declined it. And so Coventry is guaranteed relegation, pretty much. Guaranteed relegations. Great job, FA. Way to stick it to that owner who came in and saved that team at the final hour. Way to show them what it means to invest in women's football. Great job. Garbage. Yeah, Liverpool, we're doing well. I know Tottenham's sitting kind of middle of the Women's Super League and everything like that. Nothing wrong there. I mean, you're not in relegation spot. You're not going to get relegated. Liverpool, on the other hand, with 7 matches to go, we're up 9 points in first place. I think we're on a 13-game streak without losing a match. That's pretty good.
Moving on.
I don't know where you're from, but where I come from, that's pretty darn good.
To the east side.
To that Deluxe Women's Super League in the sky. Woohoo. Going to Liverpool, man. We'll finish off with them. They beat Arsenal in the second leg of the Carabao Cup 2-0. Arsenal got a red card. Hate to see it. Couldn't happen to better people.
Was
so
it
now,
David Luiz?
I don't know.
Sounds like something David Luiz would do.
It was Thomas Partey. Ain't no Partey like a Thomas Partey, because a Thomas Partey don't finish the match because he got a red card. So now Liverpool faces Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final on February 26th. Great.
And the Thomas Bryant Elijah derby.
Thomas Bryant Elijah Ryan derby, because Ryan is also Chelsea. Or you said Ryan.
Well, I said Bryant Elijah. Yeah, I forgot about Ryan.
The Bryant Elijah Ryan leg derby, which is now a 3-way. I'm just leaving it at that. I'm not going to say anything else. Liverpool men beat Crystal Palace 3-1, and Liverpool men beat Cardiff City 3-1. These are all fine results. Also, since the Liverpool women won the FA Cup, rewinding a little bit, they were, before the draw, they're like, who do you want to play? And I did my very good impression of we want Bama. And I was telling folks online, I want Arsenal. Give me Arsenal in the FA Cup. And then who do they draw? They draw Arsenal. So now Liverpool face Arsenal. Actually on the same day as the Carabao Cup, which means I probably won't be able to watch it because Liverpool men play. They probably won't have a stream of it. And Liverpool appealed to the FA and Arsenal to move the match. And Arsenal's like, no, we're not going to move it. Blah, blah, blah. We didn't make. But if Arsenal would have made the EFL Cup, if they would have made the Carabao Cup final, they're moving that match.
Given their recent history, I'm surprised they didn't. They weren't amenable to moving the match, seeing as they move matches lately.
I am aghast.
Scumbags.
Well, speaking of scumbags, let's segue right into our main topic of the evening, the NWSL. The NWSL. I I would love. I'm not going to go into the Chicago stuff first. I'm going to go with the good stuff first. Okay. First things first, the night before, in the 11th hour, the CBA was passed. A lot of good things in there. There's time off for mental health. There's, I think, 6 weeks of, or 6 months or something of maternity leave or something like that, where they get paid, I think, 80%. Pretty good stuff. They also, if you release a player, if you waive a player, they still have to pay them for a month and provide lodging for a month, which I thought
Free
was.
free agency, I thought was a really big deal there.
Yeah, in the next few years, free agency is going to start. It's going to be tiered, kind of like they did it in MLS, where it's going to start off with, I think it's 6 years of
Hmm.
service, and then it'll go down to 5 and 4, and then eventually more and more free agency. Um, we've said this on the internet, and we haven't potted since then because we took off last week. It sounded like the NWSL got a lot, the players got a lot, but the owners taking it feels like it feels like the players had all the leverage. It feels like the players had everything in their favor because the league was growing. They were getting a lot of new money in. They were expanding. Players could leave for Europe potentially if they wanted to. And then also all the bad things that happened off the field. All of the power was in the players' camp. I think they probably shot too low. I
Yeah.
would have tried to scare those owners and say, no, we're not going to play unless we get everything we want. I would have come to the bargaining table. I know bargaining is meeting in the middle, and maybe I'm just being extremely biased because here on Brian and Me, we're going to support the workers. We're
Always.
not going to support the man in charge, and I stress the man when it comes to the NWSL. I thought the players could have got more.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I was a little a little disappointed, honestly. I mean, I'm glad they got something done, don't get me wrong. Like, and I'm
Right.
glad a lot of the players, at least publicly, seem to be happy about it. Yeah, I think they could have gotten more. Um, but hey, if they're happy with it, I mean, they did definitely got some concessions from management. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Raising the salary floor
Yeah. I
was
think
another
it's like
very,
34,000 now or something, which is
which
still
is a
tragically
pittance,
underpaid.
yeah, but at least they got that raised. So that's a step in the right direction.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean that's collective bargaining, right? Like you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some.
Yeah.
Would have liked to have seen them get more, but sounds like they got a deal that they can live with. So
And again, like supporting players, part of that is they made the decision and they were happy
yeah,
with it, and it's good. But then you see, like a few days later, Trinity Rodman gets a $1.1 million deal, highest in NWSL history, which I would say is deserved. I think is she deserves it because she's the future of the league, and you don't want to lose her. I don't think you want to lose her.
mm-mm.
But look at how much she gets made, how much she gets paid. It's still not like Sam Kerr. Like Sam Kerr is getting paid hundreds of thousands a year. That 1.1 million is over a few years.
4 years, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
it's not
it's
like I think I heard Sam Kerr was making 300 to 400,000 a year. So there's still a lot of catching up to do, I think, in the NWSL if you're going to continually attract
and
that sort of
keep
talent level
and
and
keep
keep
that
them.
talent level. Yeah,
Yeah, but paying her that much makes you know, oh wait, they do have a good amount of money. They do. These owners aren't, the monopoly man pulling the little pockets out like, oh, I'm out of money. That's no. I think they're doing okay for themselves. I mean, Michelle King just bought the team for 10 million more than the team was even asking for, than Baldwin was even asking for. Um,
and, and now we were really happy to see Michelle,
yeah.
take the team. But you know what? Now she's ownership, she's management, and so we completely hate her guts.
Where now I agree with you partly on that. I do. That was big news that happened just a few hours ago. It became official that Michelle King now owns the Washington Spirit, and it's been made official. Everything is good. The Washington Spirit announced it themselves that hey, Michelle is the new owner. Good for her. Now don't screw this up because To say there's a microscope on the NWSL is probably putting it a
There's
little bit lightly.
there's not a big enough microscope given
Obviously.
the topic we're going to discuss here in a moment.
Yeah. So the good news is CBA. That's great. Good news is Michelle Kang. That's great. But a lot of it got in my head and a lot of people's heads. A lot of it got sullied today. Real quick before we get into it, um, Brian, you had texted me, and I'm jealous of you. You obviously weren't on the internet a lot today. You were doing your work diligently. What a guy. Because you texted me around 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
Like,
they're about.
what are we going to talk about on the show tonight? And I was like, Brian. I just knew from you saying that you had no idea what had just happened.
No.
Molly Hensley Clancy, who is the writer for Washington Post, broke the Richie Burke stuff, Steve Baldwin stuff. Also broke what was the Rory Dames stuff the first time actually
Right.
after the
Yeah.
NWSL Cup, NWSL Championship. She releases another article today, and we'll just read the title. We'll just read the tweet. A post-investigation found multiple allegations of sexual misconduct against former NWSL coach Rory Dames in youth soccer, including a player who alleged he groomed her and had sex with her once she turned 18. I I'm we're going to get back to that part because I think it's in the main tweet. That's the big like that's the biggest thing from it. That's the biggest thing from the article. I want to bring it back a little bit. I was reading it and I was reading a part about, and somebody actually tweeted it out too, which was convenient, about the youth soccer area and how not just the players from but the coaches. The coaches were all learning from Rory. This is the Eclipse soccer, whatever, in the Chicagoland area. Women's soccer, girls soccer teams, and these coaches were coming up in the likeness of Rory. So if you've watched matches, and even guilty ourselves of Rory yelling at refs, and we like it when they're yelling at refs and when they're yelling at that, and we get, we enjoy it, we chuckle about it, but this was not the same thing as yelling at a ref about a bad call or yelling direction to a player. Coaches on the team were yelling at 12-year-olds. One coach, a player, told the Washington Post, one coach called the team a bunch of retards, screaming it on the field.
Jesus.
To a group of 12-year-old girls. Another coach yelled, "You're wasting your parents' money because you're all playing like crap," to a group of 12-year-old girls. Honestly, this is not Rory. This is another coach, but it seems like this is systemic. This is Rory having his type of coaching on other people. There's a lot of blame to point. Obviously, the coaches, Rory Dames, that whole soccer foundation. We can get even further into US soccer, and we can blame the pay-to-play system and parents. Some of the parents took their kids out. Some of the parents complained about it. But reading that, like, I have a 12-year-old daughter. I have a 10-year-old daughter. I was legit close to tears. Yeah. I was reading it and I was like, what? All I could think of saying was, how, as a parent, hearing that them yelling at your kid, how do you not go up to the coach? Just fucking level them. How can you not go up to the coach? Some of them, they were talking about mental health issues from the kids. Like, a 12-year-old girl is now nervous about messing anything up. And they were comparing it to an abusive relationship.
That would happen. And listen, I don't have children. You're a father. I know you have children. I have a nephew. My nephew's 8 years old.
Yeah.
Someone talking to him like that would happen exactly one time. I'm not a violent person. I'm not the type of person that wants to, you know me, you've known me a long time now. You know, I'm not the type of person to want to get out and fight, out and get in somebody's face, get out.
We couldn't hurt anybody. Yeah.
If you talk to my nephew like that, or somebody that I care about like that, there's going to be a problem. No.
Yeah, when I posted that on my personal Twitter account, because I was just like, it's so frustrating. How could a parent do that. Andrew Johnson, a rat called AJ, on Twitter, he posted some questions for Ty in our episode last week. To paraphrase my grandfather, that coach is a person who has been punched in the face too few or too many times. I don't know how you do it. And I say that, but I've been around environments where I'll tell you, my wife's family, extended family, they had friends of the family over, and they're all from the Canton area, Northeast Ohio, huge American football city. Like, they love high school football, youth football. That's where the Football Hall of Fame is. I mean, it's ingrained in everything.
Yeah.
This is just a few years back. They're talking about coaches yelling at kids and coaches being like angry at kids as a positive thing. And there's a whole generational idea, and maybe this is the same for these kids playing soccer. Maybe the parents are like, yeah, you need to be tough on them because life is tough and blah blah blah. I don't, is it a generational item where, oh, this younger generation is weak and they're too soft and they need to have dirt kicked in and stuff like that? I always joke around at my house when Jameson, my son, or even when my girls fell over, I was like, rub some dirt in it. And it's just a joke. I don't actually mean that. There's not a lot of tough love happening inside my house, but so I can see how this happens. I can see how parents don't remove their kids. I can see how they're okay with it, with kids being yelled at and screamed at. But why? Like, how? I don't know.
There's a big difference, and I think a lot of that, it's hard. I think people don't know the difference, and I think because of what they've seen, what they've been exposed to at different times, all that kind of thing, between like coaching someone hard. Like, I think coaching someone hard to an extent, there's reason, there's line to that, being strict, being setting expectations, communicating those expectations. But once you become, that's far past that line at that point. That's not you're trying to correct them to make them a better player, a better person, so on and so forth. That's abuse.
Yeah.
That's straight up abuse. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's abuse.
Yeah. It's awful. And these things that, like, Rory was doing, multiple times in the article, they talk about people bringing these abuses to, like, in 1998, it was brought to the police. A player in the youth system brought it to police to protect other players in the youth system. This is before he gets hired. So there's a police record of them reporting Rory to protect somebody else. Kristen Press in 2018, they talk about that too again. She was trying to protect teammates. And this is when he's hired. This is when he's a coach at the Red Stars. And all of this, like this abuse you're talking about, it is abuse. It's not tough love. It's not tough coaching. It's abuse. It's an abusive relationship where you tear somebody down and then you say, oh, great job. And you're trying to, and then they feed off of that positivity, tear them down more, and they just keep coming back. And you're doing this to preteens up through teen levels, up until they're professional soccer players, when they're women, when they're graduated college. And US Soccer, just everything that's gone to them, they've batted an eye to it. They've like, he's fine. Everything's fine. Arnim gets mad at supporters after the last allegations came out, saying you're doing nothing to help the team and you're hurting the team with saying stuff on Twitter. And Arnim still has a job. And then this comes out again. Like,
I would say he's hurting the team by allowing, because this is on him. Like, right. Obviously the stuff that happened 20 years ago, that, obviously.
Well, you hired him after that.
Well, he knew that. That's what I'm saying. Anything that's happened now, that I can't blame him for that stuff.
Yeah.
What I can blame him for is then come on, like he knew about this. He had to have.
Right.
He didn't get where he is with the kind of money he's got by being stupid and by not being thorough and not doing his research, and not, like, this is not a stupid man. This is not a person who doesn't know what he's doing.
No.
Who does not have resources to find out information if he wants to find that information.
Mm-hmm.
This is a person who knew what was going on, knew what his history was, knew that there had been allegations and complaints,
Mhm.
and said, well, I think this guy will help me win soccer games,
Yeah.
so I'm going to hire him. He then knew about things that were going on while he was the owner of the team, while Rory Dames was the coach of the team
Mhm.
in Chicago. Knew about things that's going on. He can say he didn't. He's a liar.
Yeah. That's bullshit. We've talked about it on the
Um,
show before. The Red Stars are so ingrained in Chicago soccer in the youth levels up until the pro levels, especially on the girl side. Like that's no quit.
he
If
he
you're
knew what
playing
was
stupid, no.
he knew what was going on and kept it going because he thought it would win. He would win soccer games.
Right. And make money. That's all part of it,
Yeah,
right?
I
He
mean
wants to
it's
make
well,
money.
yeah, he wants to win soccer games, which yeah, in turn makes some money
Yeah.
because it's an investment. Firing Rory Dames before he did because of
He
what
didn't
he was
fire Rory
doing,
Dames. He didn't fire him.
right,
Yeah.
would have been bad for his investment. Little does he know, allowing this stuff to happen and now it's coming to light is probably worse for his investment.
It shows that you have no spine whatsoever. And at this point, we can't trust you can't trust that he didn't know about this stuff when he hired him.
No,
This is a whole environment that's been fostered over decades, decades now. Like I posted this. Well, let's talk before we get into all that. Let's talk about the largest allegation listed is that a player felt like alleged him grooming her, where I think the phrase was a part. Rory was every part of her life. Like Rory was involved in every part of her life. And then when he turned 18, he had her come over to his apartment, an 18-year-old girl whom he'd coached for years, where he had sex with her. Like how holy shit. Like this,
that's
it's
he's
this
a he's a predator. Like
yeah,
that's
this is
that's
a
that's
sexual
literally the
predator.
behavior of a sexual of a. I'll be okay. She was 18 when that deed happened. He's a pedophile. I'm sorry, but
Had
he
been in the
is.
program for years too.
He's known he's known this girl from the time she was very young, groomed her with the intention of later having sex with her. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Fuck you, Rory Dames.
Yeah, and fuck you, Arnim, the
Yeah,
whole establishment that allows
the
it.
U.S. Fuck you, U.S. Soccer,
Ugh,
for again allowing this person to be involved in your organization. Again, the people that are the head of U.S. Soccer did not get to where they got because they're stupid.
no.
They didn't get to where they got by not knowing information that was relevant to their
Well, they
situation.
get to where they got because they know we're stupid. Because they know
Right.
we're stupid.
They know that we will blindly, this sucks, and we'll be pissed off about it today, but next week we're going to be. And this is all sports. I mean, the NFL is being sued this week by saying that and it's an open secret that they've discriminated against black coaches for
Right.
decades.
Right.
I mean, you've got things that have happened in other sports leagues. Hell, the World Cup this year is basically one big human rights violation. Like but they know that because this is our escape, right? Sports are our escape. Sports are our entertainment. We're passionate about it. Hell, you and I take, 3 hours out of our week every week to sit and talk about it. Like,
Only three. I feel
well,
like we're up to.
depends on the week, but
Oh, okay.
and then people, for some reason want to listen to us talk about it and want to interact with us online as we talk about it. Like they understand that and you tweeted about this earlier, that they understand that we're passionate about this. Like we care about, I'll say right now, like, fuck you, Arnhem, but I care about those players. Like
Yeah.
and they're banking on that.
Yeah.
And in all sports leagues are doing that. It's not just we can say, well, I'm not going to support the Red Stars anymore.
Mhm.
But we know damn well on Sunday we're all going to sit down and watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well,
or hell, we've watched you and I have both
Olympics. Yeah.
both yeah have talked about how much we've and have enjoyed the Olympics. I mean, I've enjoyed it, but I mean, it's taking place in a country in China with severe human rights violations,
Hmm.
an Olympics that every time they go somewhere, they displace a lot of people, literally kill a lot of people in the process of.
Hmm.
It leads to over policing. It leads to so many other negative things. It's just, damn.
I I know how you're feeling. The Olympics part, especially. I was sitting here watching the Olympics a couple days ago, and I thought, well, I'm not watching the Qatar World Cup. I've already said I'm not watching the Qatar World Cup, but I'm sitting here watching the Olympics. I thought that exact same thing. And we've had conversations on text and things about this. Well, if we're gonna do anything that's right, we're gonna do nothing at all. We're gonna pretty much avoid anything if we avoid all the stuff that's bad. But I think in sports, it's so damn tough because again, they play to the passion, they play
Oh
to
yeah,
loving the team, they play to you're going to support them. And the NWSL, it is so hard to not support when you know that their floor for getting paid is $34,000 a year. It's hard because you knowing that well, if a lot of people don't support and less money comes in, less viewership, what happens to the league? I've stopped watching the NFL except for the Browns, and I'm not watching the Super Bowl. NFL doesn't care. They don't know that. They don't
yeah,
care. It's a drop in the bucket. NWSL, it's still going to be probably close to a drop considering how rich these folks are, but investments there because viewership was there. Investments there because engagement is there.
right.
We give free, like we're bolstering the value of the league. As crappy as our show is, we meaning the world of podcasts, the world of people online talking about a team. We see all these graphics about, oh, look how great the engagement numbers are for Angel City this month or for Gotham this month. We're all feeding into, even whenever we're talking badly about the NWSL, we're talking about the
Yeah,
NWSL and we're feeding this beast where it's more of an impact if we say no. I'm not tweeting about it. I'm not talking about it. I know this is small, but I brought 4 people to the NWSL championship game who had
yeah,
never been to an NWSL game in their life. I got
yeah,
4 people to go to it. I We just started watching the league 2 years ago, and I'm sure there are some people that we've hopefully encouraged or didn't scare away from following the league and talking about it and tweeting about it and stuff. And we're giving this free publicity now to people like Arnim, especially Arnim, where they're benefiting from us giving them a voice.
I had a conversation with someone, and I don't want to give too many details because I don't want to out the person I was talking to about this, but this person has been a season ticket holder for an NWSL team for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and given, they're a team that went through a lot of controversy this year, and given what's happened previously and then some other recent things that have happened, they said, you know what, I'm done. Like, they didn't renew their season tickets for the year,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still going to follow, I guess, the league because it's something that they do. They have kids. It's a way that they can spend time with their kids, and but as far as following us, that's the specific team that they follow. They said, look, I'm not giving them any more money,
Yeah, that's.
and
Oh, go ahead.
maybe that's what it is. Like, again, we stopped giving them the engagement if one of the players is doing something, if there's a way we can support the players directly, if Danny Colaprico is throwing something up and she's doing something and we can support her, or some other player.
Like all their
um
posts,
yeah,
advertisements. Every time I see an NWSL player advertise something on Instagram or Twitter, even if it's not my market, I like it. I give them all the engagement I can because like Kelia post stuff about like Corona and Danny Colaprico post stuff about Sonos speakers or something like that. I will like those tweets all day because they're folks who are going to get paid for that engagement. They're going to
Yeah.
get paid directly. It's not Arnim getting paid or the Red Stars getting paid. It's so tough, man. And I think I'm at the same spot. I know I haven't given a ton of money to the Red Stars. I've given a lot of real estate, like on a Twitter profile, or talking about it, or having players on the show, having Sarah Spain on the show. I'm I'm done. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
doing it anymore. If Arnim's still in charge, I'm not tweeting about the matches. I'm not bringing them engagement anymore. I'm not having anybody from the team on the show. And people are like, well, it helps your show too. I see the numbers. We are not a show that is getting out. We're not
We
trying to become a conglomerate in the media world.
we're not monetizing this. We make no money from
We
it. If
lose
anything,
money from the
if anything,
show.
we lose money on this.
So it doesn't. Sure, will we get a few less listens for an episode? I don't even look at the listens anymore. I've stopped looking at listens months ago.
I'm
Like,
I'm I'm shocked. Literally, anytime anyone I read online that someone listened to the show, because I'm like,
right.
what are you doing with your time?
So from here on out, we're not standing the Red Stars. We'll support players, but we're not doing that. We're not helping Arnhem. We're not helping folks like that make money. These minority investors of the team, like your Schofields and your Schoenfeld, excuse me, and your Sarah Spains and everybody, something needs to happen. Where's the Michelle Kang for the Red Stars?
Yeah,
Where's there somebody with some moral fiber stepping in and saying, no, you're not running the show anymore, Arnhem, and we're going to take it over? Like, where is that right now? And
yeah,
it's a damn shame.
yeah. I mean,
I was planning on going to Chicago this year for a match. Me and the fight in Illinois were going to go when Gotham went to Chicago. I'm not going now.
I was kind of hoping, they'd come to Cary at some point this year. Maybe I'd ride up and check out a game when they're playing the Courage. But
No.
again, I'm not gonna support it. It's really hard to support them financially. Will I watch some games? Yeah, I'll probably watch some games. I'm not gonna lie to you and say I won't.
Yeah.
But yeah, are we gonna promote it or give them the real estate, or
As small as it is, it's a ripple effect, and other
Yeah.
people see it and other people share it. No, I can't do it. And if stuff keeps coming out like this and changes don't happen, if people want to test how far supporters will go before they leave, a lot of people have already jumped that. They've already left.
Well,
And it's not tough for me to do the same thing. I got a lot of stuff in my life. I can cut things out very
Yeah.
quickly.
You look at, obviously, arguably the biggest support that team has got, Local 134. A lot of them they've still, I know as of recent, I think today they posted that a lot of them still haven't renewed their season tickets or haven't bought season tickets. They're waiting for a meeting with Arnhem to talk through some things. And, I don't know I haven't followed the day-to-day with that. I haven't really checked the Slack because it's just a shit show.
And it's just from the things happening that we all know about. It's not like it's not the people themselves. So just to clear that up, I don't want any room for.
Oh yeah. No, local 134. Those people are awesome. They've been
amazing.
nothing but awesome to us. Nothing but welcoming and friendly and super awesome. No. It's more. I just can't sit and read reading some of the stuff that's come out with with Rory. Reading some of that was just like, it's heartbreaking to read something like that. So yeah, it's just not something I can absorb all the time from a mental health standpoint. So
right.
No, but a lot of them, that's your biggest, when you've lost your biggest base of support and they've said, no, a lot of us aren't renewing we're not going to renew our season tickets until there's been a conversation with management and we get signs and proof that things are changing, not just good, not just kind, sweet words, but till we see action, and we get certain things, certain assurances that things are going to be that the players are going to be protected. Again,
Arnhem needs gone. I'm not doing.
100%.
I'm not jumping back into standum and wearing kits and going to matches. I'm not buying any Chicago Red Stars tickets until it happens.
So there you go. Minority owners and the Red Stars, like, who's got a spine?
Yeah, yeah, it's time to see it. I have seen Sarah has tweeted some. She's replied to folks, and I think even one of the posts that was going around today was not knowing what they're even allowed to say, or they haven't seen full reports of the
Sure.
information themselves, and that just shows you the people that are taking your money. They're taking your money, and you don't have any power like that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things. They're not coincidences. There are a lot of things
Yeah.
that seem to be happening, and it looks like you dealt with the wrong people. Is what it feels like at this point. So yeah, they released the Challenge Cup schedule. Who cares?
Yeah. Fuck them.
Who
No, I
cares?
don't. You know, I don't
I'm
care.
supposed to be excited. This is supposed to be like schedules coming out, all the banter around that and stuff. I don't feel it anymore.
So I know if anybody listening, I know there's been some people that have kind of tried to engage with us on it, and we're not telling anybody what they should or shouldn't do, how they should or shouldn't
Right. We're not spending your money.
live their lives. Like, ultimately that's up to you, like what you choose to do. I don't judge anybody that chooses to do it.
Yeah.
Um, but we're really probably not going to be engaging much with it
Yeah.
at least in the near future, at least until some changes are made.
Yeah.
Most importantly of which is Arnim is no longer in charge.
I will go down to Louisville to see Angel City because I need to see Sarah Gordon and Savannah McCaskill back in Louisville. I want to see that. That'll be fun. But it's not. I'm not going to Red Stars matches. It's a shame. All right. We'll get into the crew in preseason. There's nothing happening. They start playing this weekend. I've been writing a lot of stuff. Who cares? I've been writing a lot of stuff. The Caroline Challenge Cup is coming up. That should be fun. Hopefully, there's a match stream. Then we can talk about some soccer things off the field. A lot of cool things happening in the crew world for supporters, stuff that I'm not at liberty to say, but there's some fun things happening for crew supporters. I'm excited for how that's going to go. And I guess I can break some news. I'm going to be the beat writer for the crew for Massive Report, meaning like I'm going to get legitimate payment and I'm going to
What?
be at matches throughout the whole season and covering things and all that stuff. So that's some positive. We can segue into Ask Bam.
That is super awesome. I didn't know that that was official yet. So
We still haven't ironed out the financial amounts and stuff like that. The way the site works, SB Nation, is however much your site brings in is how much can come out. So part of that too, and I've always before I was on Massive Report, I'll share it, and that's fine. I really wasn't a fan of some of the folks on it and everything like that. And I was on a rival site and there was some issues there and everything, but getting to know people. And I think that there are folks who really try, they just want to write about the team that they love.
sure.
I hopefully I can start telling some stories or start tweeting some stuff out that helps bring people into the fold because I think that it's a good way to have community. And the more people read it, the more people can get paid. And that's what I'm about to is getting people paid for doing stuff that they do.
And if anybody's traveling to the Carolina Challenge Cup and you're going to be in the greater Charlotte area on the way down,
Yeah.
stop and say hey.
Hey, say hey, Willie Mays. Say hey, Brian Caves. That's close.
So let's have some fun. I know
Let's finish up on a high note.
it's been a tough conversation there. But let's have a little fun. Let's,
Yeah.
we asked the BAM fam for some stuff, and we didn't get to pod last week, but we saved your questions from last week. So we got all kind of questions tonight.
Whew.
It's a veritable smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord. We're gonna have to go through some of them a little quicker, I think, than others. Just
Yes.
we don't want to keep you all here for 7-hour episode.
even though some of you are gluttons for punishment and would probably enjoy it.
Mhm.
Let's start
You're
with our
bad
good.
boys and girls.
Ooh, let's start with Felix.
Hey, I know him.
Good buddy, Felix. Do you think Katie Stengel has an eye for detail? And then posts a picture with her with a big black eye.
Yeah, Katie Stengel in a match. I think this was not against Lincoln City. Who was it? The one that was, of course, the
Crawling in my skin.
not Lincoln Park, Lincoln City. It was against, my goodness, Bobby, Crystal Palace. Yeah, she
Mm,
took her and the goalkeeper for Crystal Palace, or it might have been Watford. One of these matches, she took hit right to the eyeball, and it's a gnarly black eye.
yeah, it's quite a shiner.
Quite a shiner there. So definitely has an eye. Her posts are on Twitter and Instagram are really funny too. Like she's trying to assimilate herself into the Liverpool world.
She's been a I've seen when I have logged on to the account a few times, I've seen her posts come across the timeline, and I have gotten a kick out of her like assimilation into English culture.
And she has a great sarcastic kind of dry humor
Yeah.
across all of her socials. Um, and I'm not just saying I'm pretty biased because she's the American. Um, she's the colonist in the Liverpool Women's Football Club, and I did purchase her kit, so I have her jersey. Um,
Very nice.
After she was signed on January 6th, I complained on January 23rd or January 30th or something. It was January 30th because Luis Diaz, not the crew Luis Diaz, but the new Liverpool Luis Diaz, who might have stolen from Tottenham. We signed him on the 30th. And that day on the front page of the website, buy your Luis Diaz jersey, get it right now. I had been looking for the Stengel name to be added to the personalization since January 6th. And on January 30th, when they signed Diaz and they have it on the main page, I was like, I'm mad. So I went to my Twitter machine because that's where all the work gets done is on Twitter, right? I tweeted out, it's been over 2 weeks or 24 days, and you still haven't added her name, but you got a player signed today and you're advertising his kit on the front page. And bless her heart, Joe over in Liverpool, who has been keeping the sign and has been posting it at matches. By the way, anytime the sign has been in attendance at a Liverpool match, we haven't lost. Didn't bring
I
it to
saw the
Tottenham.
sign.
Joe didn't bring it to Tottenham. Just saying.
Thanks, Joe.
But Brian thanks you. So they could fiery crash in the next round. Um,
Proper Spurs.
Ended up seeing it a few hours after the match. Reached out to the Liverpool support folks and said, "Hey, why don't you need to have her name on there?" And then apparently other folks and the team had seen online that they didn't have her name on there, and and then pretty quickly after they added her name onto the team website, and I could not buy it at that point. I made a kerfluffle about it, so I purchased my first player named kit since probably like 2016 or so, 2017. I don't buy player names on kits from Liverpool and stuff just because I'm getting older and I shouldn't be wearing somebody, much younger than me on my kit. But I didn't care. I bought the Stengel kit and I will wear it proudly. I'm excited to get promoted now.
That is awesome. All
Oh, and there's a
right.
picture of her with the banner too, and with some supporters. So there's a picture out there with part of the Ohio banner, which is still pretty cool.
That is rad. Our good buddy Pete Gillette
Hey,
at Balding Yoda asks us, and this really doesn't work as well without a photo, without the photo, but asks, based on our previous discussion of wiping, asks, in what position do we poop?
because we had a
Um,
conversation about wiping sitting or standing, right? And you definitely do it when you're sitting. But
it's just
there's a the picture has or 10 different
eight,
options.
yeah, 10 different options on. My favorite of which is option number 3, which I'm referring to as the AC Slater.
You watch Saved by the Bell, you should get the reference pretty quickly. Sitting backwards on the chair for those youngins who haven't watched Saved by the Bell.
And then he talks about the Kenny Lofton, which
Number 7.
which is just well done. That's
Kenny, number 7 is sitting AC Slater, but on the bowl of the
on the
toilet.
like the tank, the top of the tank.
I kind of like number 0, where it's just a head popping out of the toilet. So we're gonna do. Um, Actually, I think the best for flow would be number 4. So I'm gonna go with number 4. You sure you are supposed to prop your legs up? It's unnatural to sit at a 90-degree angle with your legs when you go to number 2.
That's why there's that what's that thing called? I think it was on Shark Tank, like the squatty potty or whatever.
Yeah, squatty potty. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, moving along. Mike Slutson asks us, give us an early prediction on what company will have the best Super Bowl commercial.
Support bowl commercial is what he said.
Support bowl,
I think he was looking at Pete's tweet above it, and he was like, "The support bowl."
Maybe just guess what industry, like insurance, food, or cars. Well, I'm gonna say insurance just because they pretty much always have the best commercials like on TV. Those progressive, you're like turning into your parents.
Those are good. Those are good.
The one at the grocery store is just fantastic. Where he tells the kid like, this one leads to the left a little bit when he's returning the cart and just.
Oh yeah, those are good. I I saw a teaser because they do teasers for Super Bowl ads.
They have trailers for trailers for trailers. Yeah.
Well, they make a joke about it in one with Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd. They're doing one, and they even make the joke like, "Wait, this is a trailer for a 30-second commercial," and they're making a joke about it. So I'll pick Lay's chips because that's the one. But I'll probably just watch the Super Bowl ads on YouTube the next day because, like I said before, I'm a petty Browns fan, and I'm not watching the Super Bowl.
Let's go Bengals.
That's all I got to say about that.
Who they think they're going to beat them Bengals? All right.
Do you?
Our good buddy Derek, with his weekly '80s music question.
He didn't pick the video though. He did a lyric video. I'm pretty sure this has an actual video.
I have no idea. I mean, I knew the song. At least this time, I knew the song ahead of time. Is turning around while Derek Commissar is in town the biggest social faux pas ever?
Don't turn around.
Uh-oh.
Oh, uh-oh. Yeah.
Derek Commissar's
in town. Oh. I would say it's up there as one of the faux pas of our time.
I think that given that you're turning around when Derek Commissar is in town, sounds like you're spending some time in the gulag.
True. That
in Soviet Russia, Derek Commissar turns around on you.
Oh, I think a lot of people would pay good money for a Derek Commissar to not turn around. I think they would pay good money. And that's every now and then you're never coming around.
Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little bit
see the
fucking look in your eye.
Was that movie? Was that Old School?
Whoa. Yeah, Old School. Yeah.
Because it's the same band. They're in like another movie too.
The Dan Band.
Yeah.
Is the name of it. Yeah. They just add curse words into famous songs and it works.
But I can't sing Total Eclipse of the Heart without like see the fucking look.
It's ruined it. It's definitely ruined that song.
When that was a big thing with the Eclipse a few years ago, like I could not sing it that way. Our good buddy Brian Lanoy asked stuff we've kind of talked about already. Our thoughts on the NWSL CBA. What about Trinity signing Trinity's new deal at 1.1 mil?
Get that money.
Then how disrespectful is it for a minimum salary of $35,000 for a professional athlete?
Very.
Pretty disrespectful.
Yes.
Tanya Carmen asks for recommendations for adult beverages to help you get through this weekend's snowmageddon with 3 kids.
The snow was not great. Here in Ohio, we got rain, which turned into ice, which turned into snow. It still hasn't melted. It's pretty intense, but I didn't complain about it all the time. Like I live in North Carolina and I used to live in Ohio. I didn't complain about it. Like sometimes whiskey. I'm a whiskey. I like whiskey. So whiskey, but I can't eat a lot of cheese after I drink whiskey. But the whiskey alone is still good.
I would say you can't really go wrong with whiskey. Also, You're in Columbus. Columbus has a phenomenal craft beer scene.
Land Grant, shout out.
Yeah, good craft beer from any number of delicious local breweries. Just don't
Mhm.
go to BrewDog or Platform.
Yeah, yeah. And now I'm thinking of Thin Lizzy. A little
Boys are back in
whiskey,
town.
no, a little whiskey in the jarro. Not the
What's funny
Metallica.
is I think
But
of Metallica first for that song before I think of Thin Lizzy.
I can see that. It's kind of like All Along the Watchtower. I think of Hendrix. I don't think of Bob Dylan.
Oh no, Wonder.
Oh, Watchtower.
So
Come
that
for the
was
soccer
our
talk. Stay for the horrible Bob Dylan impersonations. Hey.
so that was our previous questions. That was all the questions we had from the previous week. So
You all slacked last episode, by the way. Not the
yeah,
Ty Phillips one, the one we didn't record. I'm glad we didn't record because you didn't give us good enough
that's
questions.
actually why we didn't record.
It was all your fault. How dare you?
I was so sad.
Oh,
That's real.
don't.
That's the real.
Oh, Brian, don't put that on them. Don't you put that on me. Don't you put that on
That
me.
evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Oh,
All right.
Jesus.
So moving on to this week's questions, we'll start with Instagram.
Hey.
Our good buddy Robbie Rogers wants to know the best conference for college football and why is it the SEC? Nobody
I
cares, Robbie.
no one can. I've moved so far away from American football. I'm probably like, except for the Browns. I live in Columbus. I don't even watch college football anymore. I quit.
I watch college football, but
It's no MAC. Mid American
ooh,
Conference is MACtion is the best
action,
conference
baby.
for football. It's the most entertaining games. Give me the Miami Redhawks versus Kent State Golden Flashes any day. I'll watch that
Well,
over LSU versus every team in Texas.
little bit of like on a it's like let me set the scene for you, Thomas. It's like a Wednesday night.
You're
You're
in a
like
high school football stadium.
there's like nothing on TV. You're flipping around. You're sitting on the couch. It's like 8:30. You're drinking a beer. You're like, man, there's nothing on TV. You flip over to ESPN and you got the Toledo Rockets against the Akron Zips.
Oh,
Good luck.
real rivalries are Akron versus Kent and Toledo versus Bowling Green. Those are rivalries.
Or a little like Ohio Bobcats. It's or the
Bobcats and the Red Hawks when they go at it. Oh, watch out.
you just listen. It's gotten me through some tough times. Okay, as
Yeah.
somebody who enjoys college football and you have you have those games on Thursday and then you have the
Mhm.
Saturday games and then you get nothing. But you know what? On Wednesday night, I could
Ooh.
always depend on a little Maction to help me get through the week.
Shit. CC is garbage.
And then Homer wants us to talk about Forrest just
Ooh.
deep pantsing Leicester in the FA
Oh.
Cup.
And
Like
the last thing you want is Brendan Rodgers depantsed, but that's what happened.
just they gave him like a swirly.
Oh. Did you see the pitch invader?
No.
A Leicester City pitch invader after one of the goals, after one of the four, I think it was four goals or three goals. I don't know what it was. This pitch invader, some guy who looks like he came straight out of his mom's basement from right behind the Xbox. He ran up to the Forest players and he punched one of them. He ran into a group of about 7 Forest players and punched one of them. And it didn't look like it hurt him because, again, this dude, he's played FIFA. I think that's probably the closest he'll ever get to the Leicester or the Forest players. But yeah, that was crazy. How did he get that far? It was
And
just
if
insane. And then how did he get to the players to be able to punch him? You needed, God, who do we need out there? Oh, God, who was the player in England? Oh, Sam Kerr.
Sam
We
Kerr,
needed
yeah, with
Sam
the body
Kerr up
check,
there to take him out. We needed Sam Kerr.
give her 5 minutes for cross checking.
Yeah, get it. But yeah,
I wish that player would have just hauled off and decked the guy.
and then take the line from Ken Wu in Mighty Ducks 2. If you get a fine or a penalty, 2 minutes, well worth it. Now he was also imitating the Iceland player, but still,
There's not a jury in the world that would convict that guy.
except for the FA because they're garbage.
They're garbage, but
They're not US soccer garbage, but they're garbage.
I'm sure they've got their own.
Oh, they've
issues like
got
that.
skeletons. Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Soccer Noob. He asked us,
Hey,
why do we choose to remain ad free?
have you listened to our show? No one ever asks
Who's
us.
who's paying for this?
No, we honestly, I think early on we wanted to be probably in the first few months. Hey, let's get some sponsorships. Let's get a brewery so we can get free beer and stuff. I think we eventually, and this is I credit you for this one, Bryant, where it's like, hey, I don't want to do it for a sponsor because then we don't really have full control over it. And then it becomes more of an obligation when we have
Right.
to record and we have to do it. So we just, this is just fun for us. And we have a small little fraternity, sorority of folks who like to listen and we like to talk to each other. So that's just what it is. It's just an extension of like a campfire hangout, except for you don't smell afterwards.
Oh, I love that smell though.
It's it's okay in small doses.
I love nothing more than sitting outside around a fire and drinking a beer. Also follow up, how does one monetize a much less popular podcast? And how is the answer not dump the podcast and start turning tricks?
I think the only way your podcast is less popular is if you're not recording or releasing any episodes. I'm
And I
not sure
think
how
our
you can be less popular than our show.
and I think ours would be more popular if we stopped recording, but
Oh my gosh, our numbers would go through the roofs if we didn't have episodes.
so
I say turn tricks, man. Go for it. I'm not shaming any sort of industries there. If you need
hey,
to make money, how you need to make money,
sex work is work.
they're working. I'm fine with it. Go for it, soccer noob.
Also from Soccer Noob, what's the timeline on the NWSL closing up shop so they can rebuild with all female leadership? Well, they did have female leadership. A lot of this happened under female leadership and
This
Lisa
is very
Baird.
true. But she
Um,
made people money.
well, then there you go.
That's what commissioners are there for. They're there to make people money. Yeah, I would love to say we're getting closer, and it feels like we should be, but eh,
Yeah.
who knows?
I know the base, and I'm not criticizing Soccer Noob for that question because that's a good question.
Yeah,
And I honestly, if it was all women, it would probably be better. Um, but the leader of the league at the time was a woman, and a lot of things did happen under her watch.
commissioners are there to make owners money. That's what they're
100%.
there. It's not. It used to be like, oh, we have to. If you watch like Ken Burns baseball had a commissioner. That was kind of one of the first things, and it was to clean the game up, and it was to make rules and stuff. At this
Kennesaw
point,
Mountain Landis.
at this point, all the commissioner does is make money. Don Garber in the MLS is there to make him money. Manfred and MLB there to make him money. Lisa Baird was there, and she did made a lot of people money. Made a lot of people money. So the commissioner, um, once you're this deep, I think NWSL wants to be an American sports league, which is not a compliment. Which is not a compliment.
Fair enough. All right. So Tanya's got nothing for us tonight. Her son suggested talking about the new Pokemon game.
I bought the new Pokemon game. Well, my daughters bought it. I have not played
Pokemon
it yet.
Legends Arceus, something like that.
Arceus or something like that. I haven't played it,
Looks
but
cool.
it looks pretty legit. It's kind of like the game that you hoped you had on the old gray Game Boy. It's like, oh, I'm playing the Game Boy version, and I loved it when I was a kid. We had a garage sale up there in Maslin, Ohio, and we used my part of the money to go buy Pokemon Blue for the Game Boy.
Ooh, very
Um,
nice.
so I haven't played it yet. I'm sure I'll jump into it and I'll enjoy it. I've just been writing a lot with soccer season coming up and basketball right now with Ohio State. I've just been really busy, but I would love to start playing it. And once I do, Tanya, me and your son can talk shop, maybe trade, maybe battle a little bit. I'll take him out. I'll take him out.
One of the all-time great cartoon theme songs.
Yeah,
I
real
wanna
good.
be
The
very
very best.
best, like no one ever was.
Dun, 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 dun. That was some good singings.
Oh, good.
If you haven't
All
seen
right.
Detective Pikachu, there's a great scene where Ryan Reynolds sings that theme song.
Oh,
It's a good
really?
movie. It's a good
I
movie.
enjoyed. I don't remember that, but I did enjoy Detective Pikachu.
It was
I didn't.
whenever he was sad towards like right after the
That's
pinnacle of the movie.
right. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
walking on the bridge and
Okay.
he's like, I wanna be, and he's crying, singing the song. It's really funny.
Detective Pikachu was good.
Yeah.
Um, So, list of questions here from TK, Crew Gunner TK. Why isn't skioring an Olympic sport?
You made that word up.
Yeah, I assume that's a product from IKEA.
Yeah, and I every time I go into an IKEA, anxiety. I don't know when I'm going to get out. I feel like I know, okay, if I turn here, I'll get out. You see these jokes and you see these like stereotypical jokes, and some of them are kind of just elevated, over time. But this is a legit joke that is legitimate anxiety. I hate going into IKEA. I get lost. If I do any IKEA shopping, it's pick up and drive up. That's it.
I like the IKEA food court.
I can do some meatballs, but you don't have to get lost to get those. You can just walk
No.
right in the exit and they're right there.
And you get you some of that what's that lingonberry jam?
Yeah. Those
No,
Swedes.
not bad. Also looking for tunes to ice fish to.
Um, when I think of ice fishing, I think of metal music.
Specifically, Metallica's Trapped Under Ice.
Oh, you can do a little bit of that. I like more of like the screaming. Put some,
Okay,
August Burns Red on there. I think the screaming helps with the coldness and the ice and all that.
I like it. LL Cool J. Um, you could listen
Vanilla
to
ice.
you could listen to Snow in Foam. All
Oh,
right.
or you're as cold as ice.
You willing to sacrifice
Sacrifice our
our
love.
love. All right. Why is TK rooting for Spuds tomorrow? I assume he likes taters?
Are the Spurs playing tomorrow?
Maybe.
I think they will because I think they are. Man United played today and Drew Burnley 1-1.
Mm, the fighting Sean Dyches.
Love to see it.
I just assume he really likes taters, which I had a baked potato for dinner. So
Mm, I can never turn down a tighter.
buffalo chicken baked potato for dinner.
Oh,
It was delicious.
have mercy.
That is like one of our go-to meals right now is we just like shred chicken and then like toss it in some kind of sauce and put it on a baked potato.
Okay, show's over. I gotta go eat. Let's go.
Biggest surprise for the Columbus Crew.
um, you go first.
When Lucas Elrayon wins the league MVP.
I think you already made that bold prediction. You made that bold prediction already. My biggest surprise for the Columbus Crew this year. This is really tough.
Yeah, I
This is
know.
really tough. I think Luis Diaz
Scores a goal.
scores 3 goals this year.
That's a bolder prediction than Zellerano winning the MVP.
I think he gets his stuff together. I think bringing in Yaya Boa and having Matan another season. I think Luis Diaz. I'm not drinking any alcohol. Feels the pressure, and I think that this might be the year where it's like if I don't produce, I'm gone. So I think this could be the year of Luis Diaz, and ignore the whole, Luis Diaz stand account thing that we were on for a while, and the fact that every prediction on Massive Report for a whole season I put Luis Diaz was going to score. But ignore all that. I think Luis Diaz actually does live up to his potential this year.
At this point, I'll be surprised if he gets a shot on target. If Caleb Porter owned an exotic animal, what would it be?
This is really good. Finding out this offseason that he has tattoos. Caleb Porter has tattoos like up his arms and stuff. I think
What?
he has some kind of like exotic like snake. I can see him with an exotic snake.
I'm gonna go kind of and hear me out on this. So there was a gorilla famous in Cincinnati. Unfortunately,
Rest
he
in peace,
passed.
Harambe. Oh man.
But Caleb Porter owns Cincinnati. So I'm gonna say he'd have a gorilla.
Oh wow. You went I was thinking exotic. My mind went to poisonous for some reason. But that's definitely an exotic animal also. So I like it. He does own Cincinnati. But looking at the MLS results, who doesn't?
Got him.
Hey, hey now.
How many robots or aliens are secretly competing in the Olympics right now? At
Um,
least six.
I think the Russian Olympic Committee. I think there are a lot of robots there.
Rockefeller Records. I
Oh,
cannot
that's a.
I cannot see ROC and not think of Rockefeller Records. And I'm like throwing up the diamond and stuff. I'm like, it's the Rock.
Oh, I think it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the ROC team.
Are we joining Robbie's Women's March Madness Bracket Challenge this year?
Yeah, we are.
I'm definitely down.
Yeah, we got this.
Um, if a miracle were to happen and Chicago ends up winning the Challenge Cup, will we claim it as an actual trophy?
Um, Only when it comes to arguing against Robbie.
That's literally the only bants we're going to engage in Chicago related that now is arguing with Robbie.
Yeah, we'll argue with Robbie about anything. If he says it's daytime, no, it's nighttime.
No, it's at night.
If he says that's black, we're gonna say no, that's white. So we're gonna argue with him on everything, no matter what he says.
All right. Soccer noob, some more questions. A min a minimism or Calvinism?
I only know Calvinism, so I'll just go Calvinism.
I don't even know what that is. I know they're both like religious, so, denominations.
Yeah,
Um,
Calvinism is more. I'd say it's a little controversial to the folks in the church world.
isn't that like the predestination stuff?
Yeah, that's part of it. But
Okay.
I don't know anything about it. Minimalism, a synonymism.
I'm in a mini.
So I will just say Calvinism.
I'll say Calvin and Hobbes.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Um,
Do people who say insurance, I guess emphasis on the insurance, have souls?
as somebody who works in insurance, there's a lot of soullessness.
We kind of have to not have one, I think, to work in that industry. Um, his soccer news final question is mommy.
Yes.
All I can think of when I hear like mommy or like is mother by Danzig.
Mother, tell your
Hey,
children
children,
not to
not to
come
walk my
our
way.
way.
Oh,
Mother.
mother.
I had a friend in high school who was really into the Misfits. And I say friend in hindsight was not a good time for me at that point. But I could never get into Misfits because of him. And then in turn, I could not get into Danzig.
That's the only Danzig song I know, just because. And the only Misfit song I know is "Die, Die, Die, My Darling" because of Metallica. But
There's some other Misfits song that I will not sing on here because they're not appropriate for Brian and me and the Bam Fam.
what winter? So
Nothing
Robbie
to
asks us,
say.
what Winter Olympic sport would the members of Bryant and me participate in if they could? Most of the Winter Olympic sports look terrifying. Like these people are insane. Like some of this like ski jumping I was watching and like the bobsledding and the luge and the skeleton. Like the hell with all that. I'm gonna go curling.
I'm gonna do the two-man bobsled. You and me are gonna do the two-man bobsled. For some reason, like maybe it's because I've just watched Cool Running so much. I just watched it like 2 weeks ago. Again, I I would love to try the bobsled.
Okay.
Some people, you can't believe
Jamaica,
Jamaica
we have a
have a
bobsled
bobsled team.
team.
I'll give you $1 to shut up.
Zanka, you can pee now.
Too late.
Or probably my most quoted line from that movie is not even one of the players. One of the like Cool Running, one of the bobsledders
Hmm.
from Jamaica. It's so anytime it's someone says or else, I'll
Or
then go
else,
or else va
bah, Jamaica.
every time. Every single time somebody says or else va. All right, Felix, what is your favorite breakfast food and your favorite way to have eggs?
I like eggs over medium.
Okay.
And my favorite breakfast food, if I'm making it myself, I like making breakfast tacos.
Mm.
I use a little like red pepper flakes, chili powder, some cumin on there, and I put maybe some like pico or guacamole salsa on it. Just like a little bit of like cheese on top of it. I'll do egg tacos in the morning. If I'm not making it, I would like a good like egg bagel sandwich. I think
Mm.
those are good. I hate making them at home. I don't know why. Scrambled eggs are so much easier to make when you can just throw them in a tortilla. Um, but I'll pick a good like egg cheese bagel sandwich, not from Dunkin' Donuts, but like from a place that you went to, Brian, that it looks legit.
Oh yeah, the place I went to last week.
Yeah,
I am and I'm gonna be a stereotypical Southerner for a minute here. If I
pimento cheese.
no, but I do like pimento cheese for breakfast. If they know how to make it good, really good biscuits and gravy
Ooh.
is tough to beat. Like it's like good sausage gravy with a real good biscuit. That's pretty tough to
You
beat in
can't
my
fight
book.
breakfast foods, by the way. You can't fight breakfast foods. Like there's not a bad breakfast food. Breakfast food is undefeated.
Oh, I love we eat breakfast for dinner like all the time. Like I mean,
I hate making breakfast for dinner because first it dirties every dish in your house,
oh yeah.
and also when I'm cooking eggs for a certain amount of time, because I'm cooking for 5 people, I only cook eggs for 4 people. Because by the time I'm done, I don't even want to look at eggs. I'm just like, oh, I can't. If I smell it too long, I need to cook it and eat it like that. I cannot have too much time thinking about it because the smell just gets to me.
I mean, you got think of the stuff we didn't even mention. Bacon. I mean,
Oh,
it's like
make it back, back,
12
back, back.
different kinds of breakfast sausage. You got your
Mm.
pancakes, French toast,
Didn't even get
waffles,
into donuts. We didn't even get into
donuts,
donuts. Oh.
cereal, like good breakfast cereal,
At
Papa.
night, whenever you're sitting at home some nights and you're like, I could go for some fucking cereal right now. And you get a bowl of cereal milk. Oh, mm.
So good. Um, Robbie wants to know when we're having him back. Why we've been avoiding having him back on the show. We're ducking you,
Because
Robbie.
there are no Gotham matches. We if you're going to talk about Gina and Gotham, we want to at least wait till there's a Gotham match that week. God forbid, we'll talk about anything else and you'll bring them up. And we're waiting to get Brutus on the show so you and Brutus can go back and forth. Although having a mascot on the show would be a logistical nightmare.
Well, seeing as we're an audio podcast,
Exactly. It would be very tough for
it'd be
us.
like having a mime on the show.
One of the Tom Waits songs back when he was more of like uh, a lounge piano type guy. He talks about his favorite record being a mime, a mime's performance. And it just seems like so Tom when you hear it and you like Tom Waits, like, yeah, I could see him saying that. I could see him saying that.
Right on. Robbie also asked how we are preparing for the shit talking that Alex Dumas 1995 is going to do when Racing Louisville shuts out Chicago again.
I'm not gonna get into the bands. Uh, I hope Arnim loses a lot of money if that happens. If that happens, then yes, bring it.
Um, Mr. Carr at the Mr. Carr wants us to recast Star Wars with people we know.
I I think I'm going to give this question the Frank Barber Memorial Award for best question of the episode, brought to you by Tang. I think this is the best question of the
That's a
show.
strong question. I'm
That's a
struggling.
really good
Like,
question. I have some ideas. I think
okay,
I'm going to think of folks who have been on the show. I'm going to pick people who've been
ooh,
on the show. Han
okay,
Solo is Ty Phillips because Ty
because
Phillips is by far the coolest person.
he's so damn cool. Yeah, I
So
could
he is
totally
Han
see.
Solo.
I could totally see his wife. Oh, Ty, I love you, and he just looks back at her like, I know.
I know. I think Luke Skywalker, episode 4, I'm giving to Robbie Rogers because I want to go to the
Oh,
Tashi station to get some power
I was gonna
converters.
say the really whiny Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, so we're gonna give Robbie Rogers the whiny Luke Skywalker. I think Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker, I'm giving to Jeremy Holland for all the good
Ooh,
work that he does, and he kind of
I can
saves
see
the
that.
day and stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
Jeremy Holland gets Luke Skywalker then. Um, let's see who. This is a really good question. Brian Lanoy, he's he's consistent. He's lovable. Nobody dislikes him. I'm gonna give Brian Lanoy Chewbacca, not from
Mm.
hairiness, just from
I
lovability.
was I was leaning toward R2D2 for Brian Lanoy, but
Okay, I could see that. C3PO is Mike Hudson. Mike
yeah,
Hudson for sure
yeah.
is C3PO. Um, let's see who else.
Uh,
I
we gotta start casting some of the players we've had on,
I
like
know, right?
who are like Danny and Kelia and
Shoot. Whoever is like a real like badass in the Star Wars movies. Um, I'm gonna give to what's the name from Ray? Ray from the new Star Wars movies. I'm giving it to Nia Tapper
there you go.
because Ray's a badass, and so is Nia Tapper. She's a total badass. Who the pilot from the newer movies? What's his name?
Oscar Isaac's character. Good Lord.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac. I forget his name. I'm gonna say Oscar
Wow.
Isaac and Finn are um Keelia Watt and Danny Colaprico in that order. Um, and who
Sarah Spain
and
is Princess Leia.
yeah, she runs the shit. She runs like Commander Princess Leia. I'm putting her like General Princess Leia.
Right. General
Yeah,
Leia.
she's not going to be no prisoner to Jabba the Hutt. I'll tell you that much about Sarah Spain. She's not going to
No.
prisoner to Jabba the Hutt. Although if you think about it, maybe that's where things currently are.
Though
Where
that was all a trap. So
there's a trap. Who's going to be Admiral Akbar?
I'll be Admiral Akbar.
Oh, um, okay. These are good. This is really, I've really enjoyed this question, Mr. Carr. This has been great. Um, also, no, I'm going to switch one of them. Ray
Ooh.
is going to be Gianna because she's young and she's killing it. So I'm going to give it to them. Nia Tapper has to be somebody badass. I can't think of a
Poe Dameron, by the way, was Oscar
Poe
Isaac.
Dameron. That was the name.
Damn it. Dameron.
Uh, got him. Um,
Who's Darth Vader?
oh, somebody who's bad but ends up being a good guy in the end. Um, oh, that's good. That's good.
Robbie again.
Robbie is also Darth Vader. That works. Who's gonna be Obi-Wan Kenobi? Somebody
That is Chris Doran.
Chris. Oh, Obi. Oh, damn, that's good. Jordan. Who's Jordan Angeli gonna be? Jordan Angeli.
Ooh, Yoda.
Yeah, Jordan Angeli is Yoda. Now we need Bianca St. George. Somebody who doesn't get enough credit and should really have more scenes in the movies. Um,
Ooh,
what was her name from the episode 8, who she was the one who um,
Ever,
zaps Finn for trying to leave.
who all the douchebags online hated.
Yeah, we'll give Bianca that one because she
Um,
should be in the movie more because she was really great when she was on the field, and
Rose,
it was just yeah. So we'll
Rose
give that
Tico.
Rose. Riley Foster, who was injured and who's coming back from a miracle. Actually, she could have been like paralyzed, coming back from a miracle. Um, who would that be? Hmm.
Darth Maul, because it turns out he's alive.
We'll say Boba Fett because Boba
Ooh,
Fett, you think that they're down, but no, came back with a vengeance, and she's gonna come back with a vengeance, and she's gonna run shit like Boba Fett does in the new series. I've only watched 2 episodes. Don't tell me what happens.
I
I'm
haven't
way
watched
behind on all of my
I
TV
haven't
shows.
watched any of it yet, so
It's good. You still haven't watched Ted Lasso, so shocker.
I still haven't watched a lot of things. I'm a
You need
bad
to watch
person.
Ted Lasso. Seriously, I swear to God, like you and Alyssa will both like it. It's not a soccer show. It is a life show. And God, Brian, I know we talk about mental health all the time. It is very healthy to watch this show. That's all I'm gonna
I'm
say.
a I'm a self-sabotager, so
You're also a
um
people pleaser, so people please me, Brian.
that's true. I'm a mystery wrapped in an enigma. Um,
Wrapped in a water chestnut.
that too.
Wrapped around a water chestnut. Okay, great question, Mr. Carr. You win.
You win the Frank Barber Memorial question of the week
I
presented by
put
Tang.
I put Frank Barber as one of the sand people. He's a Tuscan Raider. He does that in our mentions every week. Although this week he didn't ask us a single question.
Other than, do you have mine from last time? Did I ask any? I don't remember.
And you didn't. We told you you didn't. And you still didn't send us any questions. May God
Mm.
have mercy on your soul.
Two Rash Challenges wants to know what should be the location of the first hashtag Columbus Manatees meetup.
The Biscayne Bay. I bought a kit. I bought one of the new
Those
kits.
kits are so cool. Oh
I
my
bought
God.
I bought one just because Eric got in my DMs. He slid into my DMs, if you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying it like that. He slid into my DMs and he said, "Hey, are you going to join us? We're going to have a supporters group that just wears these kits once a month and we go out drinking." And I'm like, "Well, I wanted to buy one of these kits and now you're combining it with drinking and friends." And Brian Lanoy was in. I'm there. So I spent like $53 on this kit. It's pretty cool. And then after I ordered it, I showed it to Amy, who is my wife. If you're new to Brighton Me, and her first response was, "Oh God, did you buy that?" So she's like, "I can't see you wearing that." Touche, fair, but I honestly probably don't make anything look good. So what's the deal? What's the difference?
It's the line from Caddyshack. Like that kit looks like it should come with a free bowl of soup. Oh, but it looks good on you though. Rodney
Oh,
Danger. God rest his soul. My suggestion for that is actually at the Columbus Zoo. There is a manatee exhibit, and you can drink at the Columbus Zoo.
and
So
we need
you
to
should.
make jokes. The same. Oh, the huge manatee.
There it is. So you
And
guys should wear your manatees kits, your
mhm.
Biscayne Bay FC kits to the zoo and interact with your brethren, the Columbus Manatees.
Yeah, I think we should definitely do that. Brian put Endeavor on there. Don't go throwing Endeavor just because he lived down the street. Endeavor is just a poor man's land grant. So whatever, loser in a box.
Can't argue with that. And finally, because we did get a question from an account that we have blocked and reported, so we will not be answering a question from any accounts with a mug as their avatar.
Mm-mm. I'm happy we got our first fake account. We've inspired a fake Twitter account.
That is quite an accomplishment. Um, Finally, our last question of the night: UWS Weekly, best pizza toppings and the proper beer pairing.
This is this is good. This is good. I think I'm a hipster IPA drinker. I will say an IPA with a good spicy pepperoni pizza.
Yeah, I'm pretty base. I'm pretty hashtag basic. Like I'm a pepperoni pizza person. Like I love pepperoni.
Mhm.
Though I cannot. I sometimes can go for a bacon pie
Ooh,
or a nice like buffalo chicken
oh, have mercy. It's my
pizza
favorite in Richmond, Virginia. Gino's West makes a buffalo chicken pizza. I have not had it in such a long time, and I needs it. I
or the
needs it.
or the hot Mikey's takeover, which I won't have this year.
You can order it. You can order a make at home version,
Oh,
and it
really?
comes with a YouTube video.
It'll ship here?
I added you on Insta.
Oh, I haven't been on Insta today. Okay.
He says smugly. I'm not addicted to social media. Blah blah blah.
I
It's
am.
it's the
I
jealousy
am.
talking.
That's why I'm fighting. That's why I'm not on it. Yeah, I mean, I'm a pepperoni, pretty plain, like pepperoni pizza kind of guy. My favorite with pizza is like a light, like a lager or a pilsner.
You don't want it to get in the way.
Right. Something that's also going to complement like the flavor of the like that bready flavor of the crust,
Mm.
with your
Okay.
lagers and pilsners, you're gonna get some of those like bready type flavors. So
I like it.
that's uh that's me. I went to a beer pairing class last night with we paired beer and fancy German chocolate.
Ooh, that sounds real good. Do you get any stouts in there?
We did. We had a stout, we had a Dunkelweiss, a wit beer,
Dunkelweiss, a wit beer.
and what was the other beer? Oh, a cream ale.
Mm,
It was quite delightful. Yes, the owner of the brewery bought chocolate when she was in Germany and brought it and did a class on pairing beer with chocolate. It was lovely.
that sounds
Um,
lovely.
it was a good time. So on that note, guys, thanks again for sending us your questions. We always appreciate you sending those questions. Um, ask us a question next week and we'll read it on the show.
Hey,
We like you to do the work for us, really. So you can do that by interacting with us on Twitter at Bryant and me, at Instagram at Bryant and me as well. Thomas is at one Thomas Costello on both
hey.
Twitter and Instagram. Follow him to read all the fantastic things that he's writing. He is covering the Crew, as mentioned previously, for Master Report. He is also covering Ohio State women's basketball
Mm.
on Grantland, Holy Land.
Yeah. So, real quick, I was writing for Beyond Women's Sports, and I left after some, say, a little bit of drama, a little bit of disrespect from folks outside of it. There's a long story there, but uh, on Monday, this just happened yesterday. We're recording this on Tuesday evening. I had stepped away from Beyond Women's Sports last week. I didn't completely close the door, but I was like, I don't feel like I should be disrespected, especially when I'm writing for free. I had written 100 articles in a year. I think it was about maybe a fourth or a third of all the articles written in the last year. It was over a third on the site. And I felt pretty disrespected. Nobody would own up to the fact that they were really rude to me, somebody who wasn't even really part of the site every day like other people were. And I've been told I'm quitting on people and stuff like that from my reaction to it. So I didn't want to leave the women's basketball team. I know I'm a small fish in a very big pond covering sports, but I was like, I'm not going to quit on covering a team halfway through. I want to cover the season the whole way because these are like college kids. And I felt like I had a responsibility to finish covering it. So I reached out to Land Grant Holy Land, which is the Ohio State page on SB Nation, which is where Massive Report also is. It's a part of like hundreds of other sites. But I reached out to him and said, hey, I just want to finish the season. I want to finish the season. I already have a press credential for the entire year. Can I write for your site? I've already been writing for Massive Report. Here's a list of all the basketball articles I've written. Here's all my stuff. And that was like, I think Saturday or Sunday. The head of the site was out of town on vacation. We talked Monday and he's like, yeah, call me. This is around 4 o'clock. I'm able to call him. He's like, yeah, you can write for the site and we'll pay you X amount a month. And also, if you want to stick around, you can also write about like women's soccer, other stuff on at the team if you want. I'm not gonna write about Ohio State football or men's basketball. Like that's not what I'm interested in. And he's like, yeah, you can definitely do that, and we're gonna pay you to do it. And this was at like 4:15, 20 after 4. The game started last night at 6 o'clock. And like an hour and a half before the game started, he was like, oh yeah, we got you set up. You can write right now. So like I got showered, I got dressed, and I was like out the door. And it was pretty exciting to go from I'm leaving a site that doesn't seem to want to respect me or even own up to being rude to somebody who's doing this for free. I believe people should get paid for what they're doing. And even though I'm not getting paid a ton at the site now, it's 100% more than I was getting paid before, which even doesn't
Yep.
work because you can't do 100% of zero. So I feel excited about writing. I feel kind of reinvigorated into writing for the site, and yeah, so that's gonna happen. And I still hope that people read the stuff on Beyond Women's Sports. I'll still support them. They're great people over there, but we always talk about the bosses versus the workers, and I think just sometimes the bosses, especially when other people aren't getting paid, for some reason you like to throw those people around when they're not getting paid. It's usually the people that are getting paid. It's easier for them to throw other
Mhm.
people around when honestly you should be valuing the work they do because they're making you any sliver of money is more than what we were getting paid, which was zero. So, um, yeah, I'm glad I'm able to write at this new site now, and I'm really excited. And I'm not ashamed to say out loud that you should pay people for what they do. Said claiming that it's a passion is a cop out to not wanting to pay people.
100%. No, good for you, man. That's awesome. I'm excited that you are getting paid for doing that, which
Mm-hmm.
is what you should be anyway. But no, I'm excited for you, obviously, and happy for you. Glad, proud of you too for standing up for yourself like that. Like, don't let nobody push you around or underpay you or not give you what you're worth because
Yeah.
you're worth a whole hell of a lot. And
Uh,
so
it,
are you, and so are
oh,
you guys.
oh yeah, you're all amazing. It was great in the conversation. He was like, "Hey, I don't believe in having people on the site and not paying them." And hearing that was like, whoa. So within an hour and a half, I just all it all got cleared up, and it's crazy how quickly that stuff can happen when you have people who want to value you, not just with
Mm,
positive affirmation, but with actual, good feelings don't pay any bills. So,
good on you. No, so definitely be on the lookout. Be reading the cool stuff that he follows as as the Ohio State women's basketball team is wrapping up the Big Ten schedule and headed
mhm.
toward the I assume they're a tourney bound team, right?
Yeah, they're number 21 in the country right now.
Okay.
They've only lost twice since New Year's Eve. They're pushing right now for a bye into the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament. But I feel like even then, unless they completely flame out and they lose every one of their last six games of the year, I it's hard not to see them in an NCAA tournament game. Unfortunately, I won't be able to like travel to Indianapolis for the Big Ten tournament or travel to any NCAA games, but um, I'll still cover them from home however I can.
Well, if there's a game close in North Carolina anywhere, you're welcome to come hang out with us.
Oh, Bryant.
My couch is always open for you. So yeah, so again, be on the lookout for that stuff. It's good stuff. Support Thomas and what he's doing because he's doing a great job. And guys, support yourselves. Do things for yourselves. I took some time for myself last week and
Mm-hmm.
took some time to work on some things. So please, work on your mental health, your physical health. They're both extremely important. Talk to someone if you can, if you have the means to, or just talk to somebody in general. It doesn't have to be a professional. It can be
Mm-hmm.
somebody that you know and love and trust. Please be open. Please be willing to talk because it helps quite a bit. I can definitely attest to that. We love every single one of you. We hope all of you have a wonderful, fantastic week and a great weekend. Thank you, as always, for listening to Bryant and me. Tell everybody about the show.
Or tell
Cheers.
nobody. Adios.
Yeah,
Bye. Arnim out.
get out.